to move to Japan. They're actually encouraging people to move to Japan.
Bro, I saw a YouTube video on that. This dude I think he moved from like LA or somewhere in California, and for like 110 grand, he got like an acre and a half or something like that, or more maybe.
Well, Japan is experiencing population collapse.
What?
Yeah, they're not having kids at a replacement rate. So replacement rate means like if there's two parents, you should have like 3 or more kids. Like you have, if you're trying to replace the people that are here, when you think about how many people are going to die of old age, how many people are going to die, how many people are going to live, how does the population sustain itself over the course of the next X amount of generations? Well, you have to have a high replacement rate. And right now, Japan has a very low replacement rate. Like it's spooky low. We're at the point where they're in a panic and they're trying to figure out how to encourage people to move to Japan, how to get people in Japan to have kids.
Oh, because there's like
a lot of incels, though.
That's
what it is.
But no, what I'm saying is like that's got to be kind of scary, because if they're not replacing people, that means like fucking jobs won't get
not just jobs. The country's gonna go. There won't be any people left.
What do you mean? I mean, there would be way less people, but it's not like they're gonna all disappear.
Well, they'll all die off, and if they don't have kids,
I'm worried about like who's gonna fucking farm and take care of the animals and shit.
Yeah, well, there's going to be less of that too, but they're probably the people that will have kids, is the farmers and the rural people. But what is Japan's replacement rate? It's very low, right, Jamie?
How's our replacement rate? We're all right, right? We're not getting knocked up like crazy.
A little weird too. Yeah. We're in a weird situation too.
I feel like
there's
all
a
my
lot
friends
of people
knocked
here.
up their girlfriends already.
Well, that's good. That's nice. There's a lot of people here, and there's a lot more people aren't having kids than have ever before. It's different. We're not in danger, but like South Korea is in danger. Like South Korea, the replacement rate is really bad. Yeah, I think it's something crazy. Like how many people that are alive today will have grandchildren, and it's very small.
Almost 1 million more people died than were born in Japan last year, making it the steepest yearly population decline since records began. Just over 686,000 babies were born in 2024, while nearly 1.6 million people died. That means for every baby born, more than 2 people passed away. You can read more of the stats on the link below. Elderly people, aged 65 and over, now make up nearly 30% of Japan's population, the second highest proportion in the world after Monaco, according to the World Bank. The Japanese government has tried to increase birth rates, with incentives like free childcare, flexible working hours, and paid parental leave. But it's not having much impact, and the nation's healthcare and pension systems are feeling the squeeze. High living costs, stagnant wages, and a rigid work culture put many young people off starting families, and entrenched gender roles often leave women with limited support as primary caregivers.
Is there a more urgent issue in Japan right now than this demographic crisis?
There are climate change, government deficit, but if there's no people living in Japan,
it's all relevant. Mm-hmm. Climate change and government deficits in the military if you don't have people living here.
That's right. The central door is only for the emperor when he...
A longtime high-ranking minister in Japan's parliament, Taro Kono, was nearly elected prime minister in 2021 and says he intends to seek the highest office again.
What does Japan look like if it continues to shrink like this?
There are less and less number of young generation, and all the burdens are on the young generation, and they won't be able to sustain. So society is going to be breaking up. Economy is going to stagnate. Even for self-defense force, last year we recruited only half of what we need.
The Japanese military.
You feel it.
Wait, did I just hear that right? Japan is begging black people to come and fill up their cities? This is one of those stories that makes you pause, scratch your head, and ask, why now? Why us? And what's really behind this sudden call? Stick around, because this one is deeper than it looks. Let's kindly get into these videos. All credits to the owners. We come back with more commentary.
Breaking news: Japan is designating 4 cities to be the home of Africans from 4 countries. And those countries are Nigeria, Tanzania, Ghana, and Mozambique. Now, Japan has been notorious for keeping out foreigners, and Japan is facing a massive crisis. It's facing a massive crisis of lack of population growth. So hospitals and schools have been closing in Japan for the last so many years. The biggest crisis they have right now is that they have a very large aging population, and now they are realizing that they have to open the doors for Africans, but they don't want the Africans to be mixing with the Japanese people, so they have created and assigned 4 cities that will become the hometowns for Africans. It makes me laugh because, like, what is it about Africans that, you know what? We Africans should just refuse to be treated this way. That they don't want the actual Africans to mix with normal Japanese people, so they have to assign locations where Africans will stay, will be confined. And because I don't think people realize just how right-wing Japan is. Tell me, what do you think about this? Why is it that Africans allow themselves to be treated and I know Africans need to go to places because it seems like because opportunities are thin on the ground. But how can we just continue to just be treated in this way? What do you guys think? Just let me know in the comments what you think about Japan designating 4 cities in which Africans can live in Japan.
A Japanese lawmaker proposed that women over 25 cannot marry, and women over 30 must have their uteruses removed as a way to increase Japan's declining birth rate. I'll explain. Naoki Hayakuta has sparked widespread outrage with his controversial proposals aimed at addressing Japan's declining birth rate. Hayakuta's remarks were made during a YouTube program where he discussed potential measures to increase Japan's birth rate. He suggested that all women in Japan should undergo forced hysterectomies after the age of 30 and be banned from marrying after 25. Additionally, Hayakuta proposed restricting women's access to education beyond the age of 18 to prioritize childbearing over other pursuits. According to him, these extreme measures would pressure women to have children earlier, reversing the nation's demographic decline. Japan has been grappling with the declining birth rate and an aging population for several decades. The country's birth rate has dropped to its lowest level since 1969. Japan's health ministry reported only 350,074 births between January and June, marking a 5.7% decline compared to the same period last year. Women across Japan fiercely condemned the Conservative Party leader's remarks, calling them oppressive and deeply misogynistic. Facing intense backlash, Hayakuta later issued an apology, claiming his comments were merely a hypothetical idea. He then stated that they were meant to spark discussion within the framework of a science fiction storyline, and that he did not personally support these ideas. What do you think about Hayakuta's remarks? Let us know in the comments.
Guys, Japan's population is dying. They're like estimating that like by 2100, a lot of these prefectures might be shut down because no one's having kids in Japan. So the government, I'm going to show you guys the articles, the government is launching a dating app. This is hopefully to like get people to go out there and talk and get married, have kids, have babies. It's crazy to me. Like Japan will do everything but release the restrictions of the visa and how to get to Japan. I think they're worried, or in my opinion, I think they're worried because if too many foreigners just come to Japan, like the integrity of Japan might be compromised, as in like the history of Japan. It will not be the same Japan, right? If all these foreigners come here and are living in Japan, right? But at the same time, like, what do you guys think they should do? Let me know in the comments. They're already blocking off like the Mount Fuji sign from the Lawson. Like over tourism is a thing here, especially in Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo, all these main big places, right? So what would happen if they released the visa restrictions? Let me know.
You are no longer welcome in Japan. Yeah, cancel that girls trip. You see, unfortunately, Japan, similar to many other countries right now, are entering a very far-right, anti-foreigner stage in their society right now. And well, they are absolutely taking it to the max. To be specific, this far-right movement within Japan has actually been sweeping the nation over the past year, but has only been amplified due to the influx of tourists. Now, Japan and many other Asian countries are infamous for not being too kind to foreigners, but there has been a mass increase of reports from foreigners within Japan detailing the increased racism that they are experiencing because of the rise of the far right. Many shops are now flat out putting signs saying no foreigners, no black people, Japanese only, which was once the irregularity but is now becoming the normality. And of course, as you can imagine, some people have actually called the police in these instances, and of course the police don't do anything. This is not the West. So please, if you are a foreigner or someone that is obviously not Japanese and you're planning to go to Japan, be aware of this new fact. Be aware of the sociopolitics that's clearly happening and affecting the country. And for your sake, plan ahead.
Major breaking news. Japan is now opening doors for African nations to go and live in Japan. Nations like Nigeria, Ghana, Mozambique, and Tanzania. They are full welcomed in Japan. Remember, Japan has never allowed foreigners to their nation. They've been fond of getting rid away of them. But now they're welcoming Africans in Japan. Japan has been hit by a major crisis. They're struggling of aged population. There have been closure of schools in Japan because they are no longer young population. They've gone ahead and said they're welcoming Africans, but they will create specific locations for these Africans. They have demarcated locations for these African nations: Nigeria, Ghana, Mozambique, and Tanzania. Imagine, they don't want these Africans and the real Japanese to mix. So, I don't know if our Africans will go to Japan. You all understand? Africans are struggling with jobs. They have to go there to look for greener pastures. But do you think that this is the right option for Africans to go to Japan, whereby they are not allowed to mix with the Japanese? Not allowed.
Japan is a country known for tradition, discipline, and an extremely tight-knit society. But there is one problem. Their population is shrinking at an alarming rate. People are not having enough kids, young people don't want marriage, and the elderly are living longer. That means entire towns are literally emptying out. Some places in Japan have more abandoned houses than living families. Yeah. So where do black folks come in? According to reports and online conversations, Japan is now looking to immigrants to save their economy and repopulate their cities. And the surprising part is they are openly calling for black people to come. Oh, wow. Why? Some say it's because of our creativity, our resilience, our culture, and yes, even the fact that we are willing to work and breed where others might not. This is why they are calling black folks. But here is the $1 million question. If Japan really wants black folks, are they ready for us? Because let's be honest, Japan is also known for being one of the most homogeneous countries in the world. Less than 3% of the population is foreign. Racism exists there. We all know this. Discrimination happens. So are they truly ready to welcome black people? Or are they just desperate to fix their population problem? This is the main question black people have. On the flip side, let's talk opportunities. Imagine black communities bringing soul food, music, culture, and businesses into empty Japanese towns. Imagine kids growing up bilingual, mixing African American, and Caribbean culture with Japanese tradition. Imagine this. That could be so powerful. It could be historic. And honestly, it could give black folks a chance to build generational wealth in a country that desperately needs them. Yeah. But let's keep it real. Is this genuine love for black people or is it survival mode for Japan? Because some folks online are already saying, don't fall for it, it's a trap. They believe Japan just wants labor and numbers, not true integration. Yeah, this is all they want. And once the population problem is solved, who knows what happens next? Who knows? No one. One thing is clear, black people are being recognized globally as force. Countries that once ignored us now see our value. Yeah, from culture to creativity to resilience, we are in demand. And whether it's Japan, Europe, or America, people are realizing you cannot breed the future without black folks. You cannot breed the future without us. So here is my take. Japan begging black people to move in is both an opportunity and a warning. If we go, we need respect, we need equality, and we need a seat at the table, not just a role as fillers for empty cities. Yeah. What do you think? Tell me, what do you think about this? Would you pack up and move to Japan if they offered you a house, a job, and a fresh start? Or do you see this as another country using black people for their survival? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I will be reading them. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you want more real talk reactions like this. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.